You're still asleep at 8 o'clock Saturday morning, and suddenly someone woke you up. And that's the idea here. God called Moses for service in response to a need. In response to a need. Why? What's the need? In the first verse that was read for us, the Israelites were persecuted. You know, the Israelites used to have a special privilege in Egypt, but then after the death of those Egyptian officials who have known Joseph, who was the second in command then, came along, they have forgotten all that he did on their behalf. And so, the Israelites were still there. They have grown in population by leaps and bounds. And so, the Egyptians were so insecure. And so, as a result, they persecuted the Israelites. Every day and every night, as a result, because the Hebrews are a prayerful nation, they looked up to God, Lord, help us. Not only in 1 week, not only in months, no, in years they have been crying to God. They were persecuted. That was the need. And God heard their prayer. And God wanted to bring them out of Egypt. And how did he plan to do it? He would use Moses to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. All right? He would use Moses to lead them out of Egypt into a land flowing with milk and honey. See, this is the key to our Christian service. God shows you a genuine need in others, and he leads you to do something about it. See, opportunities for service abound. Just look around. Not only in the confines of this chapel, but also in your neighborhood, in your workplaces. We just have to be opening our eyes, though. We just have to be sensitive to people around us. And you will see what God wants you to do for his kingdom. But when God calls you to do something for his sake, there are important things that you need to remember. We all need to remember. First, we need to remember that when God calls you to do something, God will be with you. God will be with you. So God said, Moses said, he said, I will certainly be with you. This shall be a sign to you that I have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you shall serve God on this mountain. When we are sent to an unknown territory, fear often grips our heart. Diba? Fear often grips our hearts. It's scary. It's scary to be outside your comfort zone. It's scary to be placed in a strange situation or strange place. You see, after he left Egypt, Moses was comfortable with his new life. The Egyptians were running after him, but he went to Midian. In that place, he found peace, taking care of the cattle of his father-in-law. He's just leading them to the pasture. He has a wife in that place, 2 sons. He's far from people who were trying to kill him. So, what else could you ask for? No enemies. You have a wife. And you are well fed. You have peace, you know. No one is bothering you. All your needs are there. But then, out of the blue, his peace was threatened by God's call for him to go back to Egypt. Actually, when an invitation was made by an email Pastor Hill about him having a vacation, I was visualizing him sitting down on a beach, you know, and sipping on a glass with that little umbrella and, and looking at the sun with sunglasses, wearing porontong shorts. And, I'm imagining that. I mean, it's just like this for Moses. I mean, he was there looking at the sun and the sand and the beach and the water and looking at the birds that are flying over, and no one is bothering him. And suddenly, Pastor Hill, we need you here. That's precisely the experience of Moses. He was sort of on a vacation. He was on his comfort zone, and suddenly a call came along. A call came along. Moses, God said, go back to Egypt. If we were in Moses' situation, we would have responded similarly, di ba? In fear. In fear. And to this problem, God gave a solution. I will be with you. Don't fear. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. I will be with you. This is an ultimate solution, I would say, to the problem of fear. The realization, the promise that God will be with you. In effect, God is saying, don't be afraid, I'll accompany you. Well, if you're so afraid of someone who would bully you, who is 6 foot, 250 pounds, and you will bring as your bodyguard a small guy, a 4'9", 90 pounds, you will be afraid, isn't it? No, still your company is not enough to take away my fear. But here,